Breakfast with your guys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your guys. Breakfast with your guys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your guys. Breakfast with your guys.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Ugh, Monday morning. It sucks, doesn't it? Guys, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, regardless of what Spurs do to us pretty much every week now. Hope everyone had a good one. Hope everyone has a good week planned, whether it be work, school, college, whatever, or just sitting at home in your pants is all good. I hope everyone has lots planned. And yeah, let's get into talking Tottenham. Listen, there's no doubt after the weekend, in my opinion, we are in a relegation battle. I've been trying to put it off, thinking, yeah, we could be in a relegation battle. But putting it off and putting it off, thinking, no, we'll be fine. We will be absolutely fine. We just need a win or two to get ourselves away from trouble. Yet while I'm thinking that every week and we're not picking up wins, and the teams below us are, slowly but surely we are being dragged into that battle. And we'll go through it all in a minute. We will go through absolutely everything. I want to start with Romero, though, and the game at Old Trafford against United, because there's been a lot said about Christian Romero, about Tottenham over the weekend, about how Frank had a setup wrong, about how he should have changed when Romero got sent off and he shouldn't have taken an Odebear off, should have kept it the same and just gone for it. Great in hindsight, I think, but at the time, I think if we had done that and then conceded 5 or 6, I think a lot of us would have been pretty furious. My blame isn't on Frank for the weekend's defeat, I'm afraid. I know there's a lot that we're just on the Frank bandwagon now, and regardless of what happens, it's his fault. I don't put Saturday on him. I put it on solely on Romero, and I'm sorry. I'm not saying I don't like Romero. This isn't an attack on Christian Romero, but our captain got himself sent off again. The 4th time he's been sent off, I think, in the Premier League alone for Spurs. And for me, it's not good enough. I'll be the first to admit, when I first saw the tackle, even when I saw it in slow motion, I'm like, that's harsh. That is harsh. That's not a red card. No way. And I stand by the fact that, I think it was an orange. I know a lot of people saying it's a blatant red. I think it was an orange. I think another player might have got away with it. I think an Archie Gray, a Van der Ven may have got away with that tackle. I do think Romero's reputation precedes himself, and I do think the referee couldn't wait to get the card out. And I've done a video on it, guys. If you haven't watched it, check it out. But I will again. It's not even so much a red card, right? Because it is what it is. It was very firm, and he did, even though he did get the ball, his follow through did catch Casemiro. So I haven't got a massive problem with it at the end of the day. Listen, like I said already, another player may have got away with it. I do think Romero gets harshly treated at times, but he doesn't help himself. He knows that he gets harshly treated. He knows that referees are on him. He should be more aware. But it is what it is. Maybe it was a Brazilian thing and an Argentinian thing. We will never really know, will we? But I did this on my video, and this is what I'm more annoyed about, is the inconsistencies of referees, is not so much the red card. Obviously, if we look at this, red card, you look at it, yeah, you look at it in slow motion, you look at it with a still picture, you think, yeah, okay. But again, it's not a massively high foot. He's following through. So for me, red maybe just for the force of it. But not for the actual tackle itself, if that makes sense. You look at this, you look at Dallo on Doku, no red card given now, knee high, studs up. If that's not worse than Romero's, what is? And I know, again, pictures can be deceiving. And then, of course, this same weekend, and that's Bobby on Zubamendi. Great tackle. But again, higher than Romero's tackle. But I'm guessing the difference in all of these was the force in Romero's tackle, which got him sent off. It is what it is. He got sent off. Guys, drop a comment and let me know what you think. Romero's red. Did he deserve it? What do we do with Romero now? He is our captain. Should he be stripped of the captaincy? Should we keep him on as captain? Um, do you think he's a liability? You know, we can't afford to be carrying people now. We are in massive trouble, as I've already said. And he now misses 4 games. I think that's 8 games he's missed now, or will have missed through suspension. And I'm pretty certain he's one booking away from a further 2-match ban as well. Now, whether after those 4 games that starts again, I don't know. But from what I'm hearing, he's booking away from a further 2-game ban. So he could, by the end of the season, have 10 games out through suspension. Now, for me, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for our captain. We do not need that. We need a captain who's going to be there week in, week out. And again, I'm not attacking Romero per se for him as a person, but as a player and as a leader and as our captain, we need him on the pitch. More than anything now, with A, the injuries, and B, the fact we are in a relegation battle. Let's say hello to the chat. It is all about you guys after all. And I have been waffling on for far too long. The Stoics in says, problem is West Ham are looking up at possible safety and we are staring into the abyss at the moment. Attitude and belief are now vital. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree, Stoic. 100%, mate. Jimmy's in, saying, big up, Nige. Good morning. Big up to you, Jimmy. Hope you're well, mate. And Colin is in, saying, Boradanaj. Good morning to you, Colin. I hope you're well, my friend. Rodney's in, saying, good morning. Up the Spurs. Exactly. Good morning to you, Rodney. Oh God, we have got such a crazy couple of weeks ahead with these games. Shem Tam says, good morning, Nige. Hope you're doing well this morning. We are in serious trouble. The longer Frank is here, and I have to hit one more time. I've seen improvement in the last 10 games. Yeah, listen, as much as I've said, I don't put Saturday on Frank. This season is no doubt it's down to him. Yeah, he is the manager. He is the manager. And I did say at the start of the season, I said Frank needs to be given time. Let's give Thomas Frank time. But at the end of the season, if we're languishing in the relegation battle, the same as I wanted Ange out, I will want Frank out. And right now, Frank needs to be replaced. My concern is, when do we do it? Do we pull the plug now? Do we sack Frank today or after the Newcastle game or after the Arsenal game? Or do we just put out of it to the end of the season, hope we survive, and then get Poch back or another manager? I know not everyone is keen on bringing Pochettino back. Did anyone see Pochettino's podcast? He's massively twerking for Tottenham, isn't he? He is massively twerking for Tottenham. Listen, I'd love him back. I really would. Would he succeed? Probably not, but I'd still love him back. It would be absolutely fantastic. But good morning to you, Shem. I hope you're well, mate. R. Williams says, morning, Nige and chat. Big game tomorrow, must win. Well, every game is now, unfortunately. Absolutely, mate. Tomorrow's must win. The North London derbies must win. We have to now pick up points because, as I will show in just a moment, other teams are and we are falling like a stone. Paul G is in. Said morning, Nige and chat. Good morning to you, Paul. I hope you're well, mate. The Stoic says, take the captaincy off Romero. He's no leader. Give it to Van der Ven. At least he'll be on the pitch for the next 4 games. Yeah, as long as he's fit. Yeah, he will be, won't he? I agree. For me, Polinia or Van der Ven or Polinia for captain for me. But I guess it's difficult to strip him of the captaincy right now, isn't it? It's a major kick in the teeth, but it is what it is. Colin says, this thing with Romero, Nige, he had the ball, so he did not tackle. He was tackled. Yeah, I mean, again, I look at it, and when I first saw it, I'm like, that's not a red. It's not a red. And I get why people might think it was, but for me, it's the force that he puts it through. I think he's just got to learn to, and he's not gonna, right? You take that out of him, he's probably half the player. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm not sure what I think about it. Colin said he was trying to clear the ball. Yep, exactly. It was a clearance, follow through. I mean, what are you supposed to do with your leg, right? What are you supposed to do with it? Um, and you know what? I was always taught as a kid when I played football. My dad used to drum it into me because I was a bit of a, I was not pansy. That's the wrong word. I was I loved Glenn Hoddle, so I wanted to be Glenn Hoddle. And Glenn Hoddle had a bit of bite about him. You had to in those days, didn't you? But I was, I didn't like tackling that much. I just liked getting on the ball and passing it. So yeah, my dad always used to say to me, when you go in 100%. You don't go in half-hearted because that's when you get hurt. And for that, I guess Romero was going in 100%. Um, it is what it is. R. Williams says Bobby's tackle should have been a lot higher. Absolutely. Andrew Gregory says, Morning, Nigel. Wake me up when Enoch go. Mate, I don't think they're going anytime soon. I really don't. Jimmy says same tackle as Chelsea game, Nige. Yep, exactly. Which got the same punishment and was again coincidence. We started our downward trend from that very match. We did, and it was very much the same tackle as Chelsea. I don't think he caught him as much as the Chelsea game. I do think the Chelsea one was slightly worse, but listen, it is what it is. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do think Romero is targeted. I don't think he helps himself, but I do think he is targeted. I think the referee was so quick to get that red card out. But it is what it is. Machina Joe says Romero's a dickhead. Furthermore, Liverpool losing is beautiful. The way they lost is even more beautiful. Yeah, I got to admit. Listen, I didn't watch the game. I haven't got Sky anymore. But I flicked it on and I flicked the score and I saw Liverpool 1-0 up with like 8 or 9 minutes to go. And I thought, oh, Man City have blown it. Arsenal have got this league. And then suddenly flicked it back on and City had won. So fantastic, fantastic. And yeah, I saw the goals. Always nice, always nice. And Joe, you are flying Everton with a win at the weekend. So good for Everton. Everton, they done better away than they are at home now. I feel like they are, but I'm not sure. Mark Swift's in. Nige for captaincy. I will take it on. I will take it on, mate. Big up to you. It probably won't get inside to be captain, but it is what it is. Reiner's in. Or Renier. Renier, I don't know. Renier Coys, big up to you. Says, if we do not have a brilliant window in January, then we will most probably be going down next season. Listen, I think we're going down. I think we could go down this season, mate. I really do. I think we could go down this season, and we will get into it in just a minute. Mark Swift said, I would like Poch back, but it will not be like it was last time, has moved on. I feel I'm not seeing winning anything with him. I don't think we win anything with him, probably not. I don't think we will either, Mark. But you know what? For me, it is all about feeling connected to the club again. And the last time I felt connected to this club was when Potts was in charge, and I'd love him back. I really would. Would he be successful? Probably not. But what manager is? And I know a lot of people probably shouting, Ange was successful. Yeah, okay, great. But I wasn't connected to Ange. I didn't feel a connection to Ange. I did to Poch. So for that reason, I'd want Poch back. Would he be successful? Probably not. But let's be honest, as I've said, how many Tottenham managers are successful? We look back at our great managers over the years. Obviously, Birkinshaw's, he was successful. But other than that, you look at our managers like, oh, I loved it when Harry Redknapp was in charge. We didn't win nothing with Harry Redknapp, and I loved it when Martin Yole was in, didn't win anything with Martin Yole. So, for me, just getting that connection back, Swifty, is all I want. So that's why I'd like Poch back. Royston Marshall says, we are Arsenal. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. I thought the title was yours yesterday with about 10 minutes to go, but City are keeping it interesting. They are keeping it interesting. Cookie is in the Two Mark Show. Morning, nice morning, all good morning to you, Cookie. I hope you're well, my friend. I'm just going to read a couple more out and then I'll go into what I want to talk about, really. DL is in. I'm seriously worried about dropping simply because I can't see where the wins are going to come from. I am absolutely 100% with you there, mate. 100% with you. Agreed. Over 40 in the house, guys. If you haven't smashed that like, hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I am chasing down 1,500. So I'm a while away, but anyone who could help me with smashing that sub button, I really would appreciate it. Machina Joe says, yes, Everton much better away than at home, bit like Spurs. And yeah, and we've got Everton at home, haven't we? So could be an interesting game, that one. Queen Ellie says, hi, Nige. A very good morning to you and all in the chat. Good morning to you, Queen Ellie. I hope you're well. Versus Man United, I think we sat back way too much. And with no wingers, we lost our shape. As before Romero got a red card, and we were doing okay, really. I agree. I think, listen, the red card changed the game. Absolutely no doubt about it. I just think it's a difficult one for Frank, right? Because, and I get it. I really do. I get it. Romero gets sent off. It's so tempting to just say, you know what? Bring Polinia back into midfield, into the defence. You know, keep it as a 4. We'll play 4-4-1, and then we'll have some sort of danger going forward. We could have done that. We could have done that. In hindsight, yes, maybe we should have. But this is Frank, right? He is more of a defensive first manager. And there's no doubt when Odebear come off, though Odebear wasn't brilliant, it kind of took any chance of us getting forward off because he was an outlet, wasn't he? No doubt about that with his pace. It is what it is. I think it was very much a tactic of let's keep it as tight as possible for as long as possible and maybe go for it the last 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. And we never really got that chance, did we? Because Fernandez obviously got the second goal, and that was it. Once it was 2-0, game was done. And it's disappointing because United, for me, were absolutely there for the taking. I don't think they're that good at all. One frustration for me on Saturday is how much we are letting teams shoot from outside the box. You know, we're letting teams have pot shots at our goal. And that's a concern for me. That's one thing I'm not happy with regarding Frank. But it is what it is. It is what it is until he goes. This is what we have. Ghosted is in, and big up, Nige. Big up to you, Ghosted. I hope you're well. And Kate Rixham's in as well. Says at morning. Nige, good morning. Hope you're well, lovely. I am good. I hope you are too, Kate. Golden Sun says if Romero left, everybody would go nuts. And yeah, I mean, this is it. We would, wouldn't we? But at the same time, I think maybe he's just got to learn to just not be too forceful, I guess. Just, you know, maybe to follow through, maybe I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult. Benny Guy says, hello guys, championship ain't that bad. You know what? I'd be looking forward to championship football. You know, we'd be on maybe on it the odd Friday night instead. Lots of different teams to play. Yeah, lots of league games as well. And who knows, a championship playoff final too. Listen, it would be devastating, but it's football, right? It's not the end of the world. I've never seen this go down. At some point in my life, I probably will. Will this be the season? Who knows? Who knows? It is what it is. Mark Swift said that's fair. What you said about Poch, for me, it is just that's just the way I feel. But to Darn Sofal says Poch is sentimental. It's a sentimental choice. Yes, we are dreamers, but not the only ones. Exactly. It's all about dreaming, isn't it? And it is all about connection for me. But hey, listen, the thing is with Poch, if he did come back, it could tarnish his legacy, couldn't it? You know, he could be awful. He could come back and we could be terrible. And we know what this fan base is like. We know what this board are usually like. And they don't give managers too much time. You know, if Poch started slowly, which he tends to at clubs, you know, would we get on his back? Would the board back him? Would they sack him early? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. One thing's for sure, I think we can all be in agreement that Frank is probably on his way soon. Soon. Whether he goes now or at the end of the season, I think there's a good chance he will go. Andrew says Harry's too busy with the horses with Cheltenham next month. That's a good point. That is a good point. Guys, who would you take in charge? If if Frank gets sacked, and I'm hearing rumours, of course, been watching a lot of YouTube last night. If Frank was to lose his job, now apparently, allegedly, he's been called in for meetings. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. If he was to lose his job, either today, tomorrow, after the Arsenal game, whenever, who do you want to see come in? Would you like to see? Would it be a Tottenham ex-Tottenham player? Would it be, a couple of ex-Tottenham players? Is it someone totally different? Would you like to see an interim? Would you like to see someone full-time now, which kind of rules Poch out? Who would you like to see? For me, I'm very much of the opinion if Frank has to go, bring in an ex-player. Listen, we can't be any worse, right? We are dropping like a stone already. We can't be any worse. That would be my choice, I think. Guys, I'm gonna start this comment and then I'm gonna go to what I want to talk about really. And this is I want to look at the league table because it's scary viewing. It is scary viewing. We look at this league table right now. And as we can see, we are down in 15th place. 15th place. 29 points. Leeds on 29. Forest on 26. West Ham on 23. I think we can ignore Burnley and Wolves, right? But you look at that table, and more importantly, you look at the crosses and the ticks below Tottenham. And you see that Leeds have won 2 of the last 5. Forest have won 2 of the last 5. West Ham have won 3 of the last 4. They're all winning games, all of them. And even Palace, who went above us, just won their first game in 5. Obviously, Brighton dropping a bit like a stone as well. But then you look at the fixtures, okay, and you look at our fixture list, and you look at Newcastle, Arsenal, Fulham, and Crystal Palace. No doubt, 3 tough games there before the Palace game. And we might not pick any points up. We might pick a few up, who knows? And then we look at other teams, and we look at Forest. So Forest have got Wolves this week. If Forest win that game, which you'd expect them to, they're going to be level on points of us if we don't win. Then, of course, they have Liverpool, Brighton, and Man City. So tough run for Forest. You look at Leeds, who have a really tough run, but Leeds have Chelsea, they have Villa away, they have Man City, Sunderland at home before Palace away. So a couple of tough fixtures, but then you look at Sunderland at home, they'd look to win that. I know Sunderland doing well. You look at Palace away, that could be a really big game for them. Then you look at Palace, who've just gone above us. They have Burnley this week. Burnley, if they win and we lose, they're 6 clear of us already. Palace are in the distance. Then they have Wolves at home. Palace could get 6 points from the next 2 games. And then we're looking at big trouble, aren't we? Then, of course, United away and Tottenham away. So tough games after that. But Palace with 2 pretty straightforward games. And then West Ham, who have United at home, which will be tough, but West Ham are at home. They're on fire at the moment. 3 wins in 4. They have Bournemouth at home. You'd expect West Ham to win that before 3 tough games: Liverpool away, West Ham away, Man City at home. So listen, all of the teams in and around us have tough games, right? But they all have winnable games as well. Whereas I look at Spurs and I just don't see where the wins are coming from. I really don't. It's a major, major concern, guys. Let me know what you think about those fixtures because I think they are terrifying. Guys, 60 in the house. Please smash a like. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I am chasing down 1,420. I'm 2 away, so any help would be much appreciated. Ghosted says, I don't think we have money to spend on players. People say we have this and that, but I don't buy it anymore. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I'm only going by what we're being told, right? By Tottenham. We've got this, we've got that. We will see in the summer is another massive window for Spurs in the summer, but of course we might be in the Championship by then. So we will see what happens. Jimmy says, is tomorrow's game the sack race game for both managers? Quite possibly, yeah. Yeah, he's having a real tough time, isn't he, at the moment, at Newcastle. So maybe, would you take him? Would you take him at Tottenham? I'd take him tomorrow. Absolutely. Absolutely take him. Andrew says, good morning to Cookie. And Ghost has said, I see us having a shit summer window. The World Cup will be used as an excuse and fans will buy into it as usual. Absolutely. And again, like I said, whereas I don't think right now we're going down, a couple more weeks and who are we going to bring in? If we're in the championship, who's going to want to play for Tottenham? Championship style players, right? Oh, guys, it's not even worth thinking about. It really isn't. Colin says, thought Sousa looked useful. Look at the positives. Yes, he actually did really well when he come on, didn't he? But again, he is a kid who's not got much experience in football at all. But I like the way he drove forward. Definitely looked dangerous going forward. And he's going to be playing, right? He is going to be playing on Tuesday night against Newcastle. 100%. He has to start. So interesting. Interesting to see what happens. Queen Ellie says that Mark Swift is not sentimental for me. I want to see us play potch ball as it's great to watch, and he has unfinished business to win trophies, the big ones. It would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be so nice. Ghost is saying that fans are already saying January is a tough window. It's only tough if the club makes it. Exactly. Exactly. If the team really wanted the players, then they would get them. They would get them, and they don't. Clearly, they don't. They don't want to spend the money. David Clark says, in terms of world class, Romero is overrated. Stuart Pearce got it right about him. He never keeps his back foot in a straight line. He comes out of the line and gets involved in a challenge when he shouldn't. Yeah, I do think he gets, listen, good and bad with Romero, right? Good and bad because good, he has rescued us so many times from defeat this season with his goals. Bad, he gets us in trouble. He gets us in trouble, gets himself in trouble, gets caught out of position. Listen, depends what you like, doesn't it? There's no doubt Romero's a good player on his day, but for me, he just switches off. And listen, there's no doubt he's cost us. He's cost us at the weekend, and it is what it is. Machina Joe says Spurs v Everton on the last day of the season at the Tottenham Stadium. I hope for your sake you're safe by then. Everton survived in the last day 1994 and 2023. Adrenaline pumping and pitch invasion. I think as a Spurs fan, I'd be too embarrassed to have a pitch invasion if we stayed up. It's yeah, I think I don't know what I'd do. It'd be quite embarrassing, wouldn't it? I remember the 1994 one. Um oh, I could see the player running away now scoring, but I can't think of his name. But yeah, I remember that was Wimbledon, wasn't it? Wasn't there some sort of hoo-ha that Wimbledon like fixed the game or chucked it or so? I can't remember, but it is what it is. Colin says you got to follow through when you clear the ball. If Poch comes in, he would handle Kuti. This is the thing, right? Argentinian. Maybe Poch comes in, maybe Kuti stays. Um, maybe he does. I don't know. Um, Kuti's a difficult one for me at the moment because I like him as a player. I just feel like he's let us down a little bit. But as I've said before, I've watched that when I first saw that tackle, and we were doing a watch along with Cookie, and I was livid. I was like, that's never a red card. The more I look at it, the more I think, yes, in this day and age, and I think Stel was absolutely right last night on Dan's channel, and he said 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. Well, that's not a red. The last 20 years, that is a red. It's just the way football's gone. Yuri Kakaka says Romero had the ball. Casemiro was tackling him. Casemiro put himself in the way of the follow through. The thing that annoyed me the most is the amount Casemiro's rolling. When I first saw him rolling around like that with what looked like agony in his face, I thought, oh shit, he's broke his leg or something. Oh, this is bad. He's fine. 2 minutes later, he was getting up, running the length of the pitch. That really pisses me off when players do that. I think Casemiro didn't help things at all, and Fernandez as well. Anyone see the ref cam of Fernandez? After what a complete arse! Really great player, can't stand him on the pitch. Kind of player you love in your team, you hate being against because he's just whinges the entire time. Absolutely nuts. Simon Cohen's in, says morning, nice. Good morning to you, Simon. Hope you're well, buddy. And Matt Pat, who I'm rubbish at reading, says Poch in the championship. Can't wait. Big up to you, mate. Listen, would Poch take the job if we were in the championship? Would he take the job if we got relegated? I mean, I don't see why not. I'd love it. But yeah, I don't know. Would he take it? Ghost has said the Ange cult will be on Poch's back from day one, just like they was with Frank. Absolutely, they will. Yeah. There is some sort of crazy cult, isn't there, towards Ange Postecoglou still. And they've wanted Frank out from day one. And yeah, Poch probably will be similar, but maybe they might give Poch a little bit more time. Ghost has said the true Spurs fans will back Poch. Absolutely. Listen, whoever comes in, I will back until they're crap. And then, so we've all got a breaking point, right? We've all got a breaking point with managers and players. Golden Sun says, bring back shin pads so we can see tackling again. Absolutely. You know, only feels like yesterday I was playing and shin pads were shin pads. They went right round your leg and you had ankle protectors as well. You know, those all-in-one things that were like socks. Used to be a nightmare to get off when it was when absolutely poured down and it was freezing cold after the game. But yeah, proper protection because you know you're going to get tackled. Agree with you there, Golden. Jimmy says Tim Sherwood short term for me. You know what? I love a bit of Tim Sherwood. He says it how it is. I ain't against that at all. I ain't against that at all, Jimmy. And Ghost has said Tim Sherwood and Ledney King ASAP. The good and the bad, right? The good cop and bad cop. Yeah, again, I wouldn't be against that either. I think we need someone Tottenham in. Now, I'm not saying Tim Sherwood is particularly Tottenham, you know, Ledley King is, but obviously Sherwood played for us, he managed us, and you know, would he be wearing his gilet again? That's what I want to know. Would we see him chuck his gilet on the floor when things are going wrong? That's what I remember about Tim Sherwood. Um, yeah, top bloke. I like Sherwood. David Clark says Romero switches off at vital times and isn't dominant in the air. So all in all, his attributes don't make up for his faults. Interesting. We have a very mixed bag on Christian Romero, don't we? Some absolutely love him, some not overly keen at all. Um, I'm very much of the fan. I don't care anymore. I just want to start winning. Um, you know, if Romero's plays well, I will call it out. If he lets us down, I'll call it out, and that's just the way it is. Queen Ellie says ghosted, unacceptable by the Lions leaving our squad short. With all the injuries, our fit players will have no rest now. There is no players to rotate to rest them. This is it, isn't it, Queen Ellie? We are literally down to the bare bones. I'm not sure. I'm guessing we'll find out today if Spence is fit. I'm hoping he is. If he's not, we've got one fit fullback for tomorrow night against Newcastle. One. And he's 19 and has played, 26 games in his entire career. So we are under so much pressure. Romero now out. Danzo out. Is Danzo back? I don't think so. Dragishin so it's going to be Dragishin and Van der Ven is off back line with no fullbacks. This could be carnage on Tuesday night. And I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. Well, I do think it's fun. I'm laughing because it's just so awkward, isn't it? I mean, you'd either laugh or you cry, right? Because we are in a mess, an absolute mess. Machina Joe says Spurs are lucky to have a very good goal difference. Well, we haven't really at the moment. We are now level on goal difference, a 0. But yeah, I get what you mean. A lot of the sides below us are on minuses, but that could all change very quickly. Ghost is saying, Queen Eddie, 100%. Same bullshit over and over with Enoch. Absolutely. And Colin says, I agree. I don't think it was a yellow. I don't think it was a yellow. Why can't fans see it? It's one of them, isn't it? As fans, like I said, I think it was an orange. I think it could have been it was a red. He got sent off for it, but if he had got a yellow, I don't think anyone really would have said much. I don't know. Leeds, Colin says Leeds have a rough time coming. They do. Couple of really difficult fixtures, but after that, couple of favourable ones. So it's going to be interesting. Phil P is in. Woo! Paul says, "I'm bricking it." Yeah, it's mate, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Tomorrow night is huge because as I've just said, and I will quickly bring it up again if I can find the right ones. That's Leeds, I think. No, it's Forest. Forest have Wolves next. They win that, they're level with us. That's Leeds. And then you look at Palace, Burnley, and Wolves, their next two games. They win them, and we are in trouble. And us, of course, Newcastle, Wolves. We got some tough games, and West Ham, Man United, and Bournemouth, but both at home. I think we could be in a spot of bother, you know. I really do. We need to get ourselves out of it. But whichever way we do it, we need to get ourselves out of it. Let's hope we do. Guys, nearly 70 of you in the house now. Please smash a like if you haven't. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't as well. I really would appreciate it. Trying to get myself up to 1,500 subs. Machina Joe says Modric played for that team that's playing against Palace in Europe. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Jimmy says, don't discount Brighton now. Not won a Premier League game since November. Very much the same as Spurs. Yeah, Brighton are dropping like a stone, aren't they? Absolutely didn't. It's one of those you just didn't notice. And then suddenly you look at the table today, you're like, oh, Brighton, they're down now. So yeah, Brighton suddenly in the mix as well. If we're in the mix, Brighton are in the mix as well. And would we say, and this is the scary thing, would we say Crystal Palace are in a relegation fight? Right, as of yesterday, 100%, right? But they've just won. They're now 3 points ahead of us. And the next two games, Burnley and Wolves at home. Palace could be out of it by 2 games' time. They could be well clear. It's a scary thought. Ghost has said, I don't see us getting anything from the next 2 games. The relegation fight is real. I agree. I don't want to say it because I had a feeling we'd beat United. Got a feeling Newcastle were there for the taking, right? We could beat Newcastle. My concern is we just have no defence now. Have no defence at all. Machina Joe says Spurs goal difference is better than the teams underneath them. They are. It is. How much longer for though? I don't know. That's the concern. Rudolph, big up, mate. Says, look, this is perhaps a little too late. I was saying we were in a relegation battle after the Forest result, but most of you dismissed it, saying that we are well 6 points from the top four. Run crap. Yeah, agreed. Listen, I think as fans we always look up, right, for a lot of the time. And even last week, you know, before the game, I was like, yeah, as much as if we lose to United, you know, we could drop into it, but if we win, suddenly we're looking up. And it is very much all dependent on results. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. And we are 100% in a relegation battle at this precise moment. So, and that could all change after a couple of games, right? It could all change. It could get better. It could get worse. We've just got to hope we can beat Newcastle because we cannot be banking on beating Arsenal in the North London derby. Colin says 1958 first game Blackpool we lost. Tomorrow I'm going at my age. Could be my last. Palace, God be kind to me. Mate, have a great time. I am sure. I hope. Well, I'm not sure. I hope Spurs. I hope Spurs win for you and win for us to just take a bit of the pressure off. That would be nice, wouldn't it? A bit of the pressure. John Stokes is in saying, morning, Nige. I must be the only one who doesn't give a shit if we get relegated. This might be the only way to wake the Lewises up, the fan base and the club up. Yeah, I mean, that is a point. That is a point. Um, it is what it is, right? Like I say, my concern is if we get relegated, club could start to implode and suddenly this massive stadium and this massive debt, you know, if we didn't go back up for a season, we could find ourselves in a bit of bother financially. But I don't know. It's a concern, but we will see what happens. But you're right, mate. It might be the only way to wake the Lewises up. Even then, it wouldn't, though, would it? I mean, who are we going to sign if we go down? It would be the likes of, you know, we'd be going in for, I don't know, just players that are just rank average. That wouldn't, you know, are not good enough for Spurs. And yes, I am being a bit pompous and a bit full of myself, but you know, we're Tottenham Hotspur. Phil says, reasons to be positive. I got a nice haircut yesterday and City cheered us up cheered us up too. That's about it. Yes, mate. Well, City did cheer us up, definitely. That was beautiful because with about 10 minutes to go, I thought, wow, brilliant. We're going down. Arsenal have cruised the league. Just keeps it interesting, doesn't it? And yeah, I'm sure your haircut looks absolutely fantastic, buddy. Rudolph says it's not about being positive or negative, but rational. And there has been too many poor decisions off the pitch. I don't want Frank like many of you, but was willing to give it a go. First goal, crap. Yeah, same. I was willing to give Frank a go. He hasn't worked for whatever reason. He has been incredibly unlucky with injuries. There is no doubt about that. But results on the pitch is a results business, and we are not getting them at all. So for me, what do we do? What do we do? For me, there's no point in getting a manager yet. I'd be looking if we lost to Newcastle and then lost to Arsenal. I'd be looking to bring in a new manager. Then we have what 20 days before our next game. That's when I'd be looking to do it. It might not be 20 days. It might be 11 days. I'm talking crap. Don't worry. But for me, get that manager in then so we can have a new manager bounce. What chance have we got at having a new manager bounce if we bring in a new manager for Newcastle and Arsenal? It's a bit of a tough ask, isn't it? Jimmy says it's the problem. The real problem. Players don't want to come to Spurs. I'm thinking this is the case now. I mean, you look at us and we are a basket case, aren't we? We are a basket case. But I do think if Poch comes back, I think everything will be forgiven. I think we'll be all right. I really do. But again, I'm thinking with my heart and not my head. But I'm a fan, and that's what we do, right? Golden Sun says World Cup finishes, Potts joins, assesses the squad, window closes, go big in January. Yeah, that's probably what it would be. Yeah, that's probably what it would be. But you would hope if Potts is coming back and looking at everything around at the moment on Twitter, this interview that he's done on a podcast, you would think that is it on the cards, right? He is massively twerking, like I say, for a Tottenham return. And who knows? If it's already been agreed, which I'd hope it would be, then maybe Posh has already said to the board, these are the players I want. You know, give me a list of players you think you can bring in. Okay, I want him, him, and him. Get him in. And hopefully we won't have to wait until Poch comes in before we sign the players. Poch knows Tottenham. He knows everything. I bet he watches every single game closely. And if a deal has been agreed, you would think he would be now watching the games and thinking, yeah, okay, I can work with him. Maybe not him. Um, but maybe that's just me being dumb. I don't know. Um, we will see. Rudolph says we need to stop focus on Romero. That first goal was down to Frank's defensive organisation. Even with 10 players, you cannot leave a player on the outside. The penalty area, Frank's not managed Romero well. I think it's really harsh putting it on Frank this weekend's game. I really do. You know, we're Old Trafford, we're down to 10 men. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? I think most managers lose that game. Um, listen, I'm not a Frank fan, but I think blaming Frank, I think blaming Frank for Romero is nah. I'm not having that. I'm not having it, mate. I really ain't. But I do agree with the goal. You know, whether Romero's on the pitch or not, we should have defended it better, 100%. Um, but it is what it is, guys. It's all about opinions, and that's why we love football, right? Finn says, I think we have a superior leader in Gallagher and or even Van der Ven over Romero. The question is, does Frank have the balls to make that decision? This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because does he change captains now? What does it say to Romero if he gets stripped of the captaincy? I wouldn't be against it. I do think Van der Ven or Gallagher or Polina would all make better captains. But will Frank do it? Probably not. Listen, I think we all know Romero probably leaves at the end of the season anyway. He's going to be out for the next 4 games, so Van der Ven will be captain anyway. Um, it'd be interesting to see what happens when those 4 games are up, whether he comes back and Van der Ven keeps the captaincy. I think is unlikely. But by then, you know what? We could have a new manager, Finn. Who knows? We could have a new manager. Queen Ellie says, Phil, we're all bricking it. And if we lose to the Tune and the Spammers, win that squeaky bum time even more versus the scum. It is a massive, massive week ahead. a massive midweek ahead because if we lose to Newcastle or fail to win, even fail to win, and the teams around us win, which is likely looking at the fixtures, oh, wow, we're in so much trouble. We are in so much trouble. Kate says, Nige, just worried these players are not up for a relegation fight. That's my concern. That's my concern. I look at the players in the squad and I look, would you be up for a fight? And I look at the likes of Gallagher and I'm like, yeah, he'd be up for a fight. Polinia, 100%. Van der Ven, yeah, I think he'd be up for a fight. And then I'm looking through the rest of the squad and I'm like, don't know. Don't know whether you'd be up for it or not. I don't know. I really don't know. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. They're going to have to be, aren't they? They're going to have to be up for a fight because otherwise we are going down and they are going to lose a lot of money because, listen, as much as we say, Spurs go down, they'll all leave. They can't all leave. They can't all leave. A lot of them will have to stay. And, they'll lose money. So it's up to them now. It's up to them. Get yourselves out of trouble. Thomas says, better players come when there's better managers because Argentina win World Cups and others don't. Right. Well, hopefully, if Poch comes in, he can bring some better players along. We will see. David Clark says Romero wasn't clearing the ball. The ball ran away from his control and always ends up with a player following through, attempting to get the ball back. It's interesting, isn't it, how we all see things differently. I just thought it was a pretty much a 50-50 that Romero's maybe a little bit overzealous on. Don't think there was too much in it. I understand why red was given because of the force. But you know what? Like I've said before, I think any other player, if that's an Archie Gray, I don't think he gets a red card. But it is what it is. John Stowe's coming in with some controversy. Poch out. Can't stand him. Wow. John, that's hurt. That stung me a little bit. But who do you want in charge, John? If and when Frank goes, who do you want to come in? There's all difference of opinions and nobody's right or wrong here. It'd just be interesting to see who people want in. If it's not Poch, who do we want in? R. Williams says, why are people fixated with Poch? We had a great team under Poch. He wasn't backed, 1-0. What's going to change under Enoch? Like I say, mate, before, I say it again. For me, it's not the winning things. We're Tottenham. We don't win a lot, When I grew up in the 80s, we used to win a fair bit. But football's changed. It's all about money. Who's got, it's just different now. And for me, it's not about winning things. It's that connection to the club. It's feeling that love again, feeling that pride in the team. And Poch gave me that when he was in charge. And no other manager has. Maybe Harry Redknapp a little bit. Maybe even Martin Yeo a little bit. But so if not Poch, get a manager in of that ilk. That someone that just makes you fall in love with Tottenham again. Which isn't easy, right? It isn't easy. But Poch made us love Spurs regardless of who was in charge. We didn't think about Enoch so much then because Pochettino was doing it. I just want a manager to come in who gets Tottenham, who understands what we feel. And I just feel like Poch did that. Listen, that may be wrong. And again, it is with the heart and not with the head. But football is passion for me. Football is love, and love comes from the heart. So I will continue to feel Spurs in the heart. And if Pochettino's there, then he's there. I would love it. But I totally get that people don't want him back as well. Thomas says, Gallagher, don't make me laugh. We haven't won a match since he's come in. That's the our problem. By English, Solanke, Madison, Johnson, Davis, Dragic, and Spence would have all been gone after last year. I think Gallagher's actually a decent signing. And listen, I don't think we can put the blame on Gallagher either. I think he's come into a really struggling side. Is he he's not your flair player, is he? He's not your player that comes in and is like, ooh, he's going to get us off our seat. But he's solid for the most part. It's going to take him a while to get back into the team. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to judge Gallagher too much just yet. I think he needs time. And like I say, he's come into a really struggling football club. Queen Ellie says, West Ham face Man United. You watch them go and lose Yeah, first match versus the bubble spammers, and we'll burst Carrick's bubble. You know what? I hope United win just for that fan. I really want him to get his hair cut. I really do. He must be absolutely going nuts at the moment. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham won that game. I really wouldn't. They've won 3 and 4. They're flying. They found the formula. Whatever the formula is, they found it at the moment. And when you're on a run, when you have that momentum, which is a good word being used a lot at the moment, when you have that momentum, it's easier to win games. Spurs don't have that momentum, and that is part of the reason why we're struggling so much. Thomas Mullen says Robbie Keane in now. I'd love Robbie Keane at Tottenham again. I don't see him leaving unless it was a full time. If we were offering Robbie Keane like the manager's job, you're the man. Not for 6 months, not for 4 weeks. For the next 5 years, you're the Tottenham manager, or next 3 years, whatever. Maybe, maybe. I don't see him leaving where he is now just for a 6 month stint, though. But we will see. We will see. John says I've supported Tottenham since I was 10, 51 years old, thick and thin. F Dodge. Yeah, I mean, fair dues. I'm a bit stuck for words there, mate. But yeah, listen, hey, we've all got different opinions on who we want in charge, haven't we? And get it. Not everyone's a Poch fan. I get that. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I'm a year older than you, mate. So yeah, but listen, I just want a manager to come in who's going to make us great again. That's going to be a tough one. Colin says back in the day, these players would throw shin pads away. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Machina Joe said goalkeeper Hans Sagers paid 19,000 into a bank shortly after his team Wimbledon was beaten 3-2 by Everton on the last day of the 94 season. Far East betting syndicate, fair play. As long as he made some money out of it, it is what it is. Never bet, kids, never bet. Only bet what you can afford. David Clark says Dave Mackay was a harder player than Romero will ever. Yeah, listen, he was, but then players were in that day, weren't they? Graham Roberts, absolute beast of man, good player as well, but whew, he could tackle. Um, and that's why, you know what, I find it really harsh on Polinia. I just want to go to Polinia quickly because I think this guy is absolutely brilliant. I love Polinia. I think he's a cracking player. And he gets so much shit. He put in a fantastic tackle at the weekend to win the ball. Fantastic tackle. And he gets booked. I'm like, honestly, what is the point in defensive tackling midfielders anymore? You might as well just ban them from the game because you cannot tackle. You cannot tackle at all. The game is dead in that sense. It really is. And I felt for Polina because it was such a good tackle. And one thing with Polina, he's not dirty. He is a hard, aggressive, ball winning player. And he always goes for the ball. And more times than not, he gets it. And I just think, oh, the game's dead. When you're seeing those kind of tackles booked, it is what it is. Thomas says, fans, 60 years without Romero and Van der Ven, we'd be bottom. Again, it's another point, isn't it? Because Van der Ven's goals, Romero's goals got us out of so much trouble. And Andrew says, Graham Roberts hit a West Brom player so hard his boot came off. The ref just waved play on and we went up the other end and scored. Those were the days. Exactly. Exactly. And those were the days when you had boot on, it stayed on, right? Not like today when they're slippers, they're always coming off the players and they just don't even have to undo the laces to put them back on. Back in the day, your boot was on, it stayed on unless your foot come off. And Graham Roberts, what a great player, what a great leader. Just, I'd love to have players like that in the game again now. I really would. Rudolph says, my prediction is that Frank will be sacked after the Liverpool game when we are in a relegation zone. Frank has been a disaster and too many were late to realise this. Frank, worse than Ange for me. Listen, it's hard to disagree. It's hard to disagree, mate. I'm looking at the league table and we have been woeful. Absolutely woeful. But again, Champions League, really good. All good. Really good. It's a bit strong. But Premier League, 2 seasons now have been absolutely horrific. Daniela's in said, I think Poch is playing Spurs. It feels like Spurs have given him the job. And when the sake of Frank, but what happens if Poch gets a better offer? I think it's a good question, Daniel. I don't think Poch gets a better offer now. I think it's all set up for him to return. I know that some people aren't happy about it, but a lot of fans will be happy with it. And I think is the only signing Spurs could make now, manager wise, Enoch, that would appease the fans, the majority of the fans. I think Enoch are in trouble. I think they know they are. And I think getting Poch in would kind of appease the fans for a little while, take a bit of the heat off of Enoch. But again, no good bringing Poch in if we're not going to back him. We might as well not bother. It's all about now the club backing the team, backing the manager, putting that team on the pitch first. Guys, over 80 of you in the house, please smash a like button if you haven't already. And if you haven't subbed, please sub. I really would appreciate it. I've just hit 1,420. If I can get towards 1,430 today, that would be absolutely amazing. So please smash that sub button, hit the like button. Over 50 is always an important milestone. Thomas says, I've said for 3 years, worst Spurs side I've seen, and we'll go down. We bought bad players. It is, I agree, it's the worst Spurs side I've seen for a long time. Since the 90s, probably. But even in the 90s, we had players that got you off your seat. Now, we're just a really poor team, aren't we? We really are. Shem Tam says defensive injuries, need someone to step in. Bring back the GOAT, Emerson Royale. Here, save us. You know what? He was a good defender, mate. He's crap going forward, and yeah, but defensively he was pretty decent. Pretty decent. Got a lot of got a lot of stick. Thomas says sack the medical staff with the manager. There's a lot needs to change in that team, isn't there? But aren't they new? Aren't even the medical staff new? I just don't get it. I think we're cursed. Somebody's cursed us. Somebody at Arsenal or West Ham or Chelsea have cursed us. And, we need to break that curse somehow. Rudolph says, I recall Ange being blamed for all the injuries. So who is to blame now? Romero is frustrated as he can see we are in a mess, while Frank comes out and says things are improving, as do some fans. Rory, crap. Yeah, I think the thing was with the Ange injuries is a lot of them were hamstring injuries, and we played that high line. And I think as fans, we could see it happening. I think I've got no answer to the injuries we have now. I think obviously a lot of them are just long-term injuries. They're not like a couple of week injuries. They're like 3-4 month injuries. And it's a real concern. The injuries are a massive concern. And we haven't got a big enough squad. So now we're having to play players. Look at how much we played Porro before we got injured. As much as whatever I think about Porro is what I think about Porro, but the amount he played, every single game he played, never got injured. He must have been in the red zone every single game. And at some point, it was going to happen, right? It was going to happen. He was going to get injured, and he has. But it is what it is. Daniela says, I'm a West Ham fan, and I get the injury worry. No club can fraction and that many first team players out. Absolutely, absolutely. It is a big thing. It is a big thing, and in that sense, I do feel for Frank. But there's no doubt we've not done well enough on the pitch. Andrew says Newcastle keepers always seem rather worldly against us. Yes, they do. Remember Kroll having an absolute blinder against us at White Hart Lane. Queen Eddie says, I'm at the Newcastle match, Nigel. I'm going to sing my heart out. I'll make sure we win. I'm going to get the South Stand rocking. Yes, you do it, Queen Ellie. You do it. You need I think, Queen Ellie, what you need to do, get on at the front with a drum or megaphone and just get the fans. Don't even watch the game. Just be at the fans, just chanting, getting chants going, and wake these fans up, because I know there are a lot of you that go that are really into it, really sing, but so many sit on their hands and are not loud enough. We really need the crowd to get behind this team. Eureka Kaka says our squad is not short. You can argue about the quality, but even if we had Messi and Ronaldo and our first team is all out injured, we would have Messi and Ronaldo on the medical table. Depth is not an issue. I disagree. I think depth is an issue, mate. I think, listen, quality of depth, should I say. Listen, we got a lot of injuries, right? We have a lot of injuries, which doesn't help. Um, Eureka, do you think we should have brought someone in January, though? Even if it's not buying players, just because of the injuries, do you think maybe we should have got a couple of loans in? Problem is now, because we have so many injuries, we're having to play the same players and they're getting injured. Look, Doggy's gone off injured again. You know, Romero obviously suspended. We're left with no fit fullback. If Spence isn't fit, we're left with a 19-year-old kid who's played 20 minutes of Premier League football and only played 25 times in his entire career. So it was a really difficult one. But I do get what you're saying. Machina Joe said, I think West Ham went down with 42 points. What do we think the point tally is this season to go down? I think the team will go down with like 38 points. I think 38 might be the cut-off point this season, but I'm not entirely sure. We will see what happens, I guess. I'm going to click through the chat because I am going to send you over to the Two Mark Show in a minute. I'm going to say hello to a few people that hasn't come in. Spurs Raw, big up to you, mate. It says, no chance Poch is coming back under Enoch. His loyalty is to Levy, not to Lewis's kids. Possibly. You could be right, but I just think the way he's twerking for Tottenham at the moment is made for him to come back, right? We will see. The Prez is in. Big up Prez, says big up Nigel and everyone in the chat. I'm looking forward to Poch working with Lange and Lange has to go, mate, doesn't he? He has to go. 100% he has to go. He is the main reason. And Ryan's in, saying bringing Poch back under these clans will be a disaster and our fans will turn on another manager instead of the real problem. This is the hope, though, isn't it? That if we bring Poch back under Enoch, that because of the love that a lot of the fans have for Poch, they would then turn their attention onto Enoch if they don't back him. It's so difficult being a Spurs fan at the moment. Such a beautiful stadium, all the facilities ready to go. And more often than not, we are let down week in, week out, year after year by this joke of owners. Amin's in saying Enoch deserve relegation. We don't 100% agree with that. That is best comment of the day, mate. I 100% agree. Enoch deserve relegation. We don't. John Stokes and just posted show on X. Nice. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Always a big support. Always help me out. So even though you don't like Poch, I still love you. Much appreciated. Amin says we're in a relegation battle now. Enoch is taking it lightly, and it's so arrogant of them. I just don't think they care, mate. I don't think they care. I really don't. I don't think they'd overly care if we went down either. It is what it is. Scott Colliver says we need a manager who is both keen to attack and able to set up defence. So we are not open at the back, and that's why I'd absolutely love Poch back. Eureka Kaka says like button granny smashed. Thank you very much, Eureka. Much appreciated. And big up to you. Gurav says, look at your fixtures. It's difficult games. We all have difficult games coming up, but we all have winnable games, right? We have 2 difficult games in Newcastle and Arsenal, but then 2 winnable games in Fulham and Palace. Listen, I know we're terrible at Fulham, by the way, but it's still winnable. Whereas other teams, look at Palace, 2 easy games and then 2 tougher games. So it's going to be difficult, I think, for whoever comes in. Marcus is in, said, morning, Nigel. Good morning to you, Marcus. I hope you are well. Guys, much love. I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to send you over to the Two Mark Show. Please say Pure Coys Raid when you get over there. Smash a like, hit a sub for them if you haven't. Smash a like for me, and if you haven't subbed, I really would appreciate a sub too. Guys, have a great Monday. As the great Doreen said, things can only get better, right? Let's see. Have a great day. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay Pure Coys.